Welcome back to Omni Garage After Hours, presented to you by Thor Media. Now, Eddie, the day has come where I am about to make the video on the Iconic Rinseless wash. And I'm really excited to make this video. So, a few years ago, I was in a situation where we needed to clean the cars at a destination where there was no sort of running water. I did have pressure washers, etc. And so I was looking at a way to clean the vehicle, and I came across rinseless washing. And some of them videos that I started watching was created by Eddie from EC Details, and I also started to watch a little bit that Ivan LaCroix had done with sort of O&R, etc. And so the wash techniques that I kind of learned and started to watch were created by those two people. And so when I had found out that Eddie and Ivan had made this product together, I was really excited just to support that, and as a way of to say, hey, thanks, like the stuff that you guys have taught me is the product that that I would like to buy and support, just as a way of saying, cool, nice work. So the sort of story behind this product is that Ivan at the point was trying to create DIY Detail, their rinseless wash version 2, and so the raw materials on that product were probably at a price point that was going to be more expensive than what the general consumer would be happy to pay, and so they sort of parked this idea and redid the formulation on their current V2 product and released that to the market. But this sort of formulation still existed. Now, Eddie sort of wanted to pick this up, and as a credit to Ivan and his creations and what he's taught the rinseless world how to do this sort of wash technique, Eddie was like, well, why don't we build that together? Let's release it under the Thor Media banner, and we'll say it's like a limited release. I think there might have been 2,000 bottles of this released. I've got bottle, I don't know, batch number what I have here, but I think it's roughly about 2,000 bottles. They released it, a one-off, never to be released again, and they sold that under the Thor banner as just a really nice way to say, I don't know, thank you for what you've done.
I think what's really cool about this too is the design on the bottle. Like, how cool is that?
Yeah, so you can see here, if you know Ivan LaCroix, that's basically his face on there. Yep. It's sort of labelled as the iconic because he is like the iconic person. He's like the goat of rinseless washing. He doesn't like that term, but I think that's quite cool. I really like the collaboration story. It's something that I wanted to support, one-off, and you could only buy this as a bundle deal. So they recreated, well, they didn't really recreate, but they sort of changed the shape of the rinseless sponge here as well. So if you've had the DIY Detail rinseless sponge before, you'll know that it's red on one side and black on the other side. That's so that you've basically got a front and back, so you know when you're flipping it over. But on one side it's flat, it's cut off there, and the other side is pointy on their other sponge. People have sort of said that they like to have the design that's pointy on both sides, so they did that. They made it all red. It's still the same sponge material that is in their other rinseless sponge, and that's how you'd buy that as a package. And so thank you, Eddie, for being able to ship this to me, because shipping stuff to New Zealand was never going to happen, so they arranged that for me. I'm really happy to do this video for you guys. I've used this this will be the third time I've used this product. It's not really about how good this product is in terms of the market and where it sits, and I'm not going to do a comparison and stuff like that. We might talk about a few little elements, but it's just about making the video, saying thank you, supporting what's happened here, and I really appreciate that, and I really appreciate the position to be able to make this video. And so we are going to release this on the Thor Media channel as our After Hours video for this week.
Okay, so we're going to set this up just like any other rinseless wash that we use, 256:1 dilution, and I love the colour of this product as well. Like, we're washing the World Rally Blue WRX behind us, and how fitting that we've got a blue.
What do you reckon the scent is?
Oh, it's is it cherry?
Yeah, it smells
cherry. It's cherry scent.
It's probably like blueberry cherry.
Yeah, maybe.
Mixed with a little slightly burnt this and a burnt that and something else. I'm sure they'll tell us what the scent is, but...
So we know our dilution ratio in the bucket here is 75 millilitres of solution to get our 256:1. And we'll just give that a bit of a mix up.
And this is going to be like a hybrid sort of rinseless wash. There's going to be some surfactants in there, and I can tell it's quite... you know, sort of murky looking, so it's also probably got a decent amount of polymers in there, and that's the cleaning package that rinseless wash will be made up of.
And what we're using to do our pre-treatment is the IK sprayer, so we're using the Multi Pro 2, the 360 degree, and this just makes the process so much easier. Now, we find that we probably fill these, you know, halfway, maybe just a bit under halfway, so we can get a really good pressurization in the system there. and we are looking forward to the electric versions of these coming soon. I think to the House of Rags, there's going to be the Foam Pro 2 as the first launch from IK, but looking forward to electrifying these down the track. So we're all set up in our foamer here, we're all set up in the bucket, and this is one of the beauties about doing rinseless washes. I'm sure if you subscribe to the House of Rag channel, you're already, you know, in the rinseless washing world, or you're familiar with how it works. But one of the things that is so attractive about this for me is that we literally have a bucket, we have a sponge, we have a little measuring cup, we have our rinseless, and we have a sprayer, and that is all that we need to do this, in addition to a couple of drying towels when we get to the end stage. So no dragging a pressure washer out. We did fill this bucket, you know, we did chat a little bit, we put deionized water in there. You don't need to, but we've got it there, so we did fill it up. But
and you don't need to, because this product will cause encapsulation, so it will encapsulate those minerals. It will take them out of solution, so it'll take them out of your water, so that when the water starts to dry, it's not going to leave any minerals on your paint. So you can wash in direct sunlight if you want to. You don't have to be worried about using DI water, so it is a safe washing technique.
And then all we're going to do is a pre-treat. Actually, come and have a look at the car here, see what we're working with. So this car hasn't been washed in, I don't know, it's probably been a month since I've washed this. The last wash was a traditional wash, so full bucket, foam, contact wash. We've got bugs all along the top here. We have a lot of dirt, you know, some water spotting. You know, if you go across the hood here as well, you do have quite a few bugs.
I mean, the sun's doing a really good job of making this car look really nice. So I need to
come along and have a look at, you know, around the number plate area.
I mean, this car is not like filthy.
It's not filthy. No, not by any means.
We don't have any heavy road grime. We don't have any salt or anything like that. This car has just been sort of driven in some light.
It has rained a couple of times when I've been driving this car as well. So hence why, if you actually come around the back, this is probably where we're the dirtiest, to be fair.
Around the back, you reckon?
Yeah, come around here. You can see along the area of the boot here, we've got quite a bit of dirt accumulated there. This is a perfect candidate for a rinseless wash. The car is dirty, but it is not filthy. We don't have mud caked on or anything. So really, what we're going to do, we're just going to start from the top on this car. Nice to be working on a small car today, not the Range Rover, because we can actually reach the roof. So let's just pre-treat.
And the whole idea of pre-treating is just to spray that product on there, let it break down the dirt and grime that's on there, let it start to encapsulate that grime, so that when we come across with our wash media, our DIY detail sponge, that we're going to lift that product off nice and easy, and we're not going to cause any scratching and marring to the surface of the paint. A couple of times we've had a lot of comments on how dripping the sponge should be, so we'll let you guys judge on that. Is that perfect, or a little bit more? I reckon you got to go squeeze a bit more.
Squeeze a bit more?
Yeah. That's dripping.
That's good.
There we go.
There we go. That's how we want to be. And the sun's come out just in time for us to work on this here. I really like the smell. This is different to a lot of the fruitier smells that you get.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's done a cherry scent flavoured though.
Yeah.
I mean, Koch Chemi's cherry flavoured shampoo. I feel like, who else has done cherry scent? Is Armour Detail Supply, have they got cherry flavoured something?
Probably everyone's got a cherry scent of some sort. Here's me saying it's nice to have a non-fruity smell like cherry, eh? As if cherry's not a fruit.
I think you're a bit of a fruit for saying something like that. And I think in terms of slickness, like we've used this a couple of times, so I think it's just as slick as every other product.
Yeah, and look, that's a really tough thing to compare as well. You really need to have them side by side, compare them on the same panel of the car as well to get the same conditions, but I mean, I think it's equally as good as anything else we've been using.
Do you want to show us a one dunk? Do you want to get some dirt and grime on that sponge and show us the one dunk? Because we know Eddie's the one dunk king, and actually, for those of you who've watched us a lot on the social medias and stuff, you'll know that actually at where were we? SEMA.
We were at SEMA.
We created the one dunk little microfiber for him. We put his lovely face on there, and we
presented that to him.
We presented it to him, yeah. And actually, if you watch Eddie's videos, you can see in the back of his shop, that there's a Omni that he's on there from Omni Garage, and
he's got it hanging.
And that's sort of just credit to the guy who taught us how to rinseless wash, and so kind of cool to be using the rinseless wash product.
So one dunk, where do you want to go? Like, where's the dirtiest part of this car that we can one dunk it?
Oh, get some dirt off the back of the car.
Yep, okay.
Spray the back of the car.
Yep. So let's work on the whole back then.
The whole back end.
The whole back end.
Okay.
I love the IK sprayer for this. I find with the Foam Pro, which we use to do a lot of wheel cleaning with like some brake buster in it. Hang on. I love the IK sprayer. I find that we use this quite often when we're doing things like wheel cleaning, but we use the Foam Pro too, and that loses pressure so quickly. Whereas this here, like,
seems
this goes
to be
a long time, right?
Yeah.
You hold a lot of pressure in this, not creating the foam from it. So I cannot wait till they get this electric though. We've got the bucket on a dolly over here.
Yeah, why don't you bring it around?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm going to do.
Look at that.
All right.
Look at that. Pretty posh little setup you got there. All right, one dunk it. Just wipe the back.
Just along here.
Is that dirty? There's dirt on there.
There's
Look
dirt
at
on
that.
there. Yeah.
Look at that. So one dunk in and out, and let's see how well it is at cleaning that sponge.
Pretty good. We have tiny little bit of remnants here and here. I reckon one more dunk will completely remove that.
So that's the other half of a good rinseless wash, is that how well is the rinseless wash at cleaning our wash media? How good is it pulling that dirt and grime out of the wash sponge and putting it into the bottom of the bucket? And so it's a good quality rinseless wash. I mean, one dunk is the standard, and if it's cleaning your wash media in one dunk, then it's consistent with everything else that's on the market.
And that's all it took there. And that was the dirtiest part of the car, to be fair. I love rinseless. It took me a long time to be convinced from you.
Do you reckon it was when we were washing the Range Rover and those other cars for the wedding that you were convinced of the rinseless process, or even longer than that?
Well, that was the first time I paid attention at all to rinseless. Like, you had told me about rinseless, and I kind of just hit a, in one ear, out the other. But that was the first time that we sat down, and we actually wouldn't sit down. I sat down, I kind of watched you wash those cars, but we had to wash 3 cars over 2 evenings with no equipment. We just had the bucket, the sponge, the rinseless, the drying towels. And yeah, I do. I think that was a point where I'm like, actually, this is quite a fun process, because we were doing it late at night.
Having a few beers?
Yep, it was pretty enjoyable. And the way that I've used rinseless is a lot in the garage. You know, these summer months have been really hot, so it's been nice to have the car inside and be doing my my washes in there. And then it's just nice not to have to pull all of the equipment out as well. I hate doing the detailing dishes.
Yeah, detailing dishes are awful.
So you can see on the sponge here, like, we have quite a bit of dirt that we've just picked up from the lower area on this side. This side here, we can probably collect a bit more from.
And that's what I like about this new red sponge, is that you can see where you're pulling the dirt out. It's a good visual cue about how much dirt is going on there, and then also how clean am I getting it. So, oh, that side needs to go again maybe.
Look at that. Some of that you look at though is in the water, right?
Yeah, you
darkening up.
You can see
look at it fade away real quick when I pull that out. See? So it's not necessarily the dirt that's staying on there, because that is all fading out. It's just it holding that water. So if you wring it out properly, like, you've got a really clean sponge right there. So we would, on average, have to fill up our IK sprayer twice when we're going through this process. We've just used the first 1.5 litres in there.
Well, yeah, you're doing sort of 2 half fills, really.
Well, actually, sorry, yes, it wasn't 1.5 litres. We're probably, you know, I don't know, 800-900 mil in there. So
much better when they just come electronic or electric. But I mean, this product is actually really nice, and I think what's a shame is that they've only produced 2,000 bottles. I'm guessing roughly that number. I think it is. This is a really good rinseless wash. I think you'll find that in a couple of years or in 6 months' time, we might see this formulation reappear in something. I'll be pretty happy if it does, because it's good. The dry off was super easy. So we're going to do this panel, and we're going to dry it off together and show that process as well.
Yeah, we'll show you the real process that we follow here. So what we do is we obviously do our pre-treat, then we come along with the sponge, we clean it up, and then when we're drying, we've got our drying towels, but we also introduce essentially a drying aid spray. So we use Amplify by Armour Detail Supply, also available at the House of Rags. and that just adds a little bit of extra protection when we're going through that drying stage. I think the thing with this product, and why I'd like to see it made available, I think the thing with this product that we're using today and why I'd like to see it made available is there are products out there at higher price points, right? You do have car soaps, car shampoos that are on the higher side of price, and then you have your more affordable options. So I think that to give consumers a choice around what they'd like to use, because I'd be happy to pay more money.
I think this was just that Ivan didn't want this to become a DIY product at the price that he could sell it for. And so DIY sort of is known for their prices to be on the lower end of the scale, and that's just from an affordable price point so that everyone has the opportunity to be able to buy it.
But how cool is the theory behind this product, that it is just the best chemicals, the best surfactants, everything that you can possibly get in a bottle?
Well, yeah, I guess it's at no expense, is it? I suppose
Correct.
It's just been...
It's the best of everything. It's not made to a price point, it's just made to be a good product.
So yeah, I'd like to see this product back, and I think we probably will. Well, I like to hope we do, because it's a good rinseless wash.
And in last week's podcast, we talked about the fact that we think everyone should be doing rinseless wash. The barrier to entry is so cheap. There are so many great products out there now. I find it really difficult to pinpoint which is my favourite rinseless wash at the moment.
Well, yeah, we've just had a customer come in this morning. He's on a bi-monthly, so every second month he's on a subscription with Omni Garage, and he gets his his car cleaned by us. And we've just done a hybrid wash on that car. It was a brand new car, but we did the wheels like you would typically do in a normal wash setting. So we foamed on brake buster, and we did a normal bucket sort of type wash, and then we basically rinsed them down, and then we came in and we did rinseless wash on the vehicle and sent it on its way. So I guess when it comes to drying your vehicle when you're using a rinseless based product, you've got two options. I suppose you could just come straight in with your microfiber towel and dry the vehicle off. You don't rinse at this point because the product is already on the surface of the paint. It's already given you your lubrication properties, so you're safe to come across with your microfiber and dry. Or you could introduce a drying aid, something to give it a little bit of pop of color, a little bit of gloss. We like to use ADS Amplify as our drying aid. We're going to do this here, but I'm also going to, is it alright with you, sir, with your nice ceramic coated car, that I can just dry this on and just see how it goes?
Yeah, I mean, show us both. One door and...
I'm interested to see how much polymer spots we get and see if we do. I can start to see some already. So you can start to see these little white dots here and there as this dries, and they will just rub straight out with the microfiber towel.
Yeah, I think that can concern people who are using rinseless wash for the first time, going, oh my goodness, there's spotting on the car, but just a simple wipe with a towel completely removes it. It's not water spotting, it's just polymer spotting that you get there.
So,
and you've wiped that, and
you know when you've got a really good rinseless because it dries really easily. So if you had trouble drying it and you were pushing water around and you had trouble trying to remove that product, that's not a good rinseless wash. And so the drying of this is really, really nice. A couple of passes there. What happened to there, man? That big bubble there of paint.
Yeah, I think that's a previous touch-up that was done. So I left that alone when I ceramic coated this car and did my paint correction. I probably could have sanded that down, but I don't know what's behind there.
You'd probably blow right through it.
I know, I don't want to take a second panel to the painters. This car is...
that dries really good.
Yep.
That's a really good product for drying. And then the other option is that you could just do a couple of spritzes of your drying aid on the panel.
And the key there is a couple of spritzes. Don't go real heavy on a drying aid, in particular Armour Detail Supply Amplify.
You just get streaking. If you're in a real humid environment and you put too much drying aid on, you can get streaking, you end up pushing product, and it can be more of a headache.
A little goes a long way with that product. And I mean, look at how fantastic that looks. This car is looking great. Super, super easy as well. This whole process, start to finish, even filming, no more than 20 minutes for us to go through and clean this whole car. And we don't have anything to put away. Like literally, all we have out here is the bucket, the IK foamer. We'll rinse both of those out. We'll put Amplify back on the shelf. We'll put our rinseless back on the shelf, put our towels in the wash, and the car's ready to be pulled back into the garage. So easy. All right, so there's a look at Iconic Rinseless Wash. Now, unfortunately, you can't buy that anymore. So hence why I've got these three products in my hand here. These would be our next three options from the House of Rags, and we're really struggling to find our favorite between these, so we kind of keep jumping between them. We've obviously got the DIY Detail, the V2, we've got the Clean by Pan Rinseless Wash, and then Detail Co. rinseless as well. So I don't think you can go wrong with any of these 3 products here, but I would love to be able to buy that as a staple.
Yeah, I think so too. I think if we can convince these guys at the House of Rags to rebrand this, relabel this formulation, make it available to everyone who wants to spend a little bit of extra money on a product that's really good, I would definitely buy this. It's a great rinseless wash. I've enjoyed using it, and I was happy that I was able to get my hands on a limited release product, and that we were able to show a wash technique that we've learnt from what I would say are the 2 greatest people in rinseless washing, Ivan LaCroix and Eddie Clone from EC Details. And so, yeah, I've enjoyed using it.
Do you know what? I think the only benefit to them not making this product available on a regular basis is we would have 4 to choose from. It'd be like, which one do we use now? We do have 4 vehicles kind of sitting around.
What we need to do now is we need to put all of our rinseless washes that we've used, we need to do a big series on all of them, and then from that we need to pick which one we like, because we can't have just a shelf full of rinseless washes. We've got to pick a couple and that'll be it.
I do like the options though. I like going to the shelf, and I like going, oh, which one do I feel like
using? Yeah, but I don't like spending money on all of them.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. So you can't go wrong with any of these or that one there, but yeah, some big testing coming very soon. Thank you so much for watching this week's video. Next week we'll be back on the podcast, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time again on Friday.
And you can get these products at thehouseofrags.com.
You can. Any questions for us, drop them in the comments and we'll do our best to answer them on the podcast.
Thanks
Catch
for watching.
you next one.
And that's it from Omni Garage After
Hours. Yeah, catch you later.